The dark and moody aesthetic is a really cool photo editing style to do, and it's because it can apply to a variety of different photos as well. Like, most kind of see this style as working with like that street photography, but actually it works really well in landscapes. If we take this kind of photo that we've got here, you can see there's a before and after, and it is an extreme version of editing here. It's an aesthetic that we're going for. So we're not going for like a natural style of editing, we're looking at something creative. And I really like this comparing the two, because you can see that it also works during daytime. And that's kind of a misconception as well, that we have to shoot these photos at night or in darker conditions. No, we can still achieve this look through daytime. And if anything, it's better because you get more interesting shadows falling across the rocks, across the water. Like, there's more to work with. What this style of preset also does is it gives you the ability to go back over photos you weren't quite sure what to do with, or you might have considered as like bad photos, and try something different with them. Something you might not have thought of if you're trying to go for that just like slight enhancements. This is a very out there like creative edit, but I love the aesthetic that it achieves. It's not just full like black tone. You've got elements of, you know, cools and warms in there, but so nicely balanced with each other, and really subtle as well. See, we've got the warms of the rocks, but you've got some blues that still kind of weave between this in the water too. So this is a style that I quite often use on like my landscape nature photos, just to see what it produces. So this is a hard one to actually get right, because there is a lot of balancing going on. So as we go through the presets today, I'll try and explain what each tool is doing, you know, how is it going to affect this, and then hopefully you'll have a preset you can walk away with. But if you do not want to do the hard work, you can always go down onto my website below and you can pick up this preset as well as some free packs and others for you to try. There is a sample pack there as well with some of my most used presets that kind of take one from each out of my master collection, just for you to have a try of before you want to invest or get the actual master collection. But check that out below. Anything does help keep this channel going. But let's get into this then. We've got a mixture of tools that we're using. We're going to go very heavy on the curves and the colors in this, naturally, because there's a lot of manipulation that we have to do to get rid of these greens and get this kind of balance between the orange and blues there. So there is a big combination between using the color mixer and the color grading. The reason I say this is a trickier preset to start with, and as you kind of following through these settings, is because if we turn off each of these modules, they each contribute to this color in one way. So you can see the calibration there is really helping to bring in more of like the warms. If we take away the color mixer itself, we've got that very like aggressive greens, and the green tones are in there as well. But if we take away the color grading, we've got a very aggressive warm tone. So this balance of color has been achieved between all three of these. So sit back and relax, and let's do some Lightroom editing. Before editing, it's worth pointing out there is some masking on this as well, but that masking is mostly just light shaping than anything else. But I'll take you through some of the masks that I've used on this photo at the end of the video. First of all, I'm just going to do a bit of a basic edit. It is quite bright, like there's some overexposed bits down at the bottom, so I'm going to pull those down and just raise a bit on the shadows here, just to find some more of those details that are in those like darker areas. But I'm going to lower my blacks too, and just pull the whites down. There we go. So you can see it's a little bit flatter, controlled some of that harsh lighting that's come across here on these rocks and bits. It is very rocky, and there's not a lot of trees, a lot of sharp edges, so that's going to mean I will increase my clarity on this here, just to bring this up a bit more. Even when I got like this flowing water, I tend to increase the clarity because there's some really nice like sharp lines coming off of this here, and just a slight little texture bump as well. I'm going to come back to my vibrancy and saturation a little bit later on. So at the curves, we're going to start to bring in some contrast, but we're also going to start to bring in a little bit of color as well across these channels here. So I'm going to start just with a couple of points. Make it cinematic by lifting down at the blacks here. And then I'm just purely going to dip everything else, because when we talk about taking a photo during the day and making it a bit darker with this dark aesthetic, pulling down all of these lines here just darkens our image slightly. Remember that you can control light with the curves tool. So if we pull them all down, we can make the whole image darker without necessarily introducing so much contrast. And because there's a bit of that harsh line in there, I'm just going to dip the whites at the top too. So you can see that's not only bringing in a little bit of contrast, it's creating that nice cinematic fade, but it's also darkening down our image even further. So I'm just doing a slight raise on the shadows there, but we're also going to bring in some color across the other channels. Now, when you start messing around with these channels, it can be strange and it can be tricky to work with. Generally, I will do an S-curve, and the standard approach is to like introduce a little bit up top, a little bit down below. Now, these are very sensitive, as you can see. It puts in quite a bit, but I'm after adding this extra bit of contrast here, and that looks good on the contrast. And I'm simply just going to copy these channel settings and put them across on the other ones by right-clicking there and get the same channel settings across. Because once you've done all the channels, they kind of work together and they give you this bit more like saturated vibes. Remember, when you are playing around with the tone curve, you are introducing color as well, not just lights, you are playing around with color. But this is starting to look good now. We've darkened down our image, we've got that kind of sharpness and contrast coming through on it. So now I'm going to use my color mixer just to control these colors a little bit more. So what we've done there now is now desaturate down a lot of that colours. You can see we've gone very aggressive on the greens, like the yellows there, blues as well, because I know I'm going to bring this back in the colour grading. That's our last bit of the mix. But what I'm trying to do here is now make our colours look a little bit more natural to this dark aesthetic. So you can see bringing the luminance down on those greens. Whilst I've gone for, originally I was moving over here to make our greens a bit more like orange. This works too. And you could make them more orange. The choice is, do you want to go more towards a blue or an orange vibe? I just felt like having the greens up this way a bit more just helped like the final image. It's a slightly extra color that's in here. But you could go either way, you know, it's personal choice here. But bringing the lumens down on the greens really helps out, because now you've darkened down these rocks. And for me, blues are always in shadows, warms are more like a highlight color. That influences where I go with luminance a lot of the times. You see the luminance is down on the blues where I want more kind of darker, shadowy blues in, but I want the accents to be warm. So the oranges and yellow channels go up. So if we toggle this on and off, you can see now it's controlled a lot of that greenness and extra saturation that came through from the curves, but without removing too much contrast. And it's at this point here I will now come back up, and I'm just going to introduce a little bit more contrast globally, not too much. And same with the vibrance and saturation. Boost some of these muted colors a bit more and just desaturate ever so slightly. And again, that's kind of the balance of the workflow. You know, you're going to move up and down as you're editing, not just go 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to go back and forward, and that's fine. It's fine if you don't get it right on the first pass. So this is already looking pretty good, but we are just missing a little bit of these. Still a little bit too much green for my liking, but we're also missing a bit of blues there. So let's just have a play around with calibration. And if you're not really sure what the calibration tool is, I'd recommend checking out the video on this channel, which goes into depth on when you're moving the calibration, what is the differences here than if you were just using the color mixer. So do go check that one out. But the main rule is I'm trying to consolidate some more colors together, but you can get very creative with the calibration. So the blue channel, first of all, I just want to push towards the turquoise a bit more. And then I'm just gonna pull these up. And this is what I tend to do, is go to the max and see what do I like. And I quite like these orange highlights poking through a bit more here. So we're just gonna increase the saturation a little bit more on that one. Same with the green channel as well. Only ever so slightly. Mostly I quite like what this channel's doing here. So turn it on and off, we see we're getting that burnt orange just poking through a bit more. So finally, that sort of brings us onto the color grading here. You know, really we're missing the blues still in this, so we want to bring out a little bit more blue into what we're doing. And if you remember, we had a kind of a blue tone over all of this anyway. As again, blue to me is a very shadowy color, so putting it over the top of all of this just helps that overall like dark aesthetic look. So we'll go straight into the shadows here, and we're just going to bring some of that blue in. And don't want to be too turquoisey. That looks quite good. And we're just going to back off the saturation to find a point that I quite like. And then this slider down here is really your luminance. So we're just going to bring that up a bit. Roughly around there. Next, we're going to put in some highlights as well, and these are also going to be in the blue, so you can just find in the one that matches nicely. Off the top of my head, I cannot remember the color theory that I'm going for here, so if you can remember the color theory term for when you were putting mid-tone shadows and highlights all in the right area, please do comment it below. Okay, roughly about that, and I'm just going a little bit too harsh on the lighting, so just dip the lumens here. So I've just gone through and done some last tweaks on this as well, and I'm in a bit of a situation where I like the color grade and the blue that's going over, but we're losing some of this burnt out orange that's here as well. And I kind of want both to poke through at the same time. So what I'm going to do now is just come right the way up to the top here and just play around with the white balance as well. So if we take this kind of cool slider that's there, there's a bit too much blue in it for my liking, so if I pull this more towards this side, you can see we're getting those oranges just to come through, but we're still seeing the blues in there too. And I think a lot of the time we forget about the white balance, and we sort of go into editing around with the colors and things like that, and you kind of find what you want, but you're not quite getting it. Actually, your temperature sliders and white balance is a really good place just to finish off with, to find that final touch. So for me, it's probably sat around that mark there. And now I'm starting to see that balance between the burnt oranges coming through, but also I can still see some of these blues that we've got there from the color grading that's coming off as well. So you see, if I turn the color grading off, I'm losing that blue kind of look overall that's in there, and that's really coming through nicely in the water. And it becomes too orange there. So just going to find the right points, and it's around that 5,500 looks good, and still slightly too overexposed in some of these areas. So again, I'm just going to bring down a little bit of exposure overall, but this is where my masking is going to take over now and craft the light a little bit more with what we've got here. But just going through those final edits again, you can see if I take the tone curve off, we've got a lot of that contrast, bringing in some extra color. That calibration is really just bringing in some more of that warm channel that we've got there. And then our color mixer is what's getting rid of those greens and all of that vibe. Luminance plays a big role in kind of shaping those as well. So it's a tricky preset in that a lot of this is working together. I do want to do a little bit of sharpening that's in here. I can really target some of these rock areas just overall before I do any masking. But that looks pretty good. So this would be my final dark aesthetic preset that I've got there. Depending on the photos you're using, you might want to tweak around a little bit more, depending if you've got rocks, if you've got trees, you might want to play around with that clarity too. But it's the colors that's really important. So if I bring you back over to this one and just talk quickly about some of these masks. So I mentioned at the start, I'll take you through some of the masks that we got here as well. So I'll just quickly show you the ones that I used on this. It's very much an artificial vignette that's been used first of all. So rather than using the vignette tool, because I really wanted to darken this area down here, keep focused on the lights in the middle. So this is a vignette inverted, so you can see it's affecting around the outsides. Decreasing the exposure and adding some blacks. A few light rays in there as well, just kind of painted in with a brush, just slightly boosting the exposure and the temperature there. And then some general dodging and burning to bring out some highlights on some rocks and some shadow areas too. And then just a little bit on the water as well. And this water is mostly to reduce down some shadows, a bit of contrast, a bit of clarity as well, because I want some of these lines to be sharper. And what I probably would do too is just increase the saturation, just to make sure these little orange lines are popping out quite well. Finally, just an overall one over the top here. This is just bringing a slight little bit of dehaze and mist in, very, very detailed. and then a linear gradient on the bottom, again just further enhancing the darkness and shadow of the frame. So turning the masking on and off, you can see this is really helping just to craft that light a bit more. But I hope you like that preset and you found some tips on what we've done today. Take a photo that you're not too sure of, like what to do with it, try this edit over the top of it. Remember, there's some real balancing act between all of those color sliders, and you've got the temperature slide of like the white balance on top of that as well. So it takes a bit of time to get this one right. Like I say, if you want to skip all the hard work, head on over to the website. You can find the black tone pack and the signature edit pack as well. I'd also recommend the cinematic pack, but if you're unsure about anything, just pick up the sample pack and it's got some of these presets already loaded into them for you to try.